Welcome everyone. My name is Joshua, as I mentioned earlier on, and I'm the American Spaces Coordinator for American Corner Agbogba at Mobile Web Ghana. This program is brought to you by the U.S. Embassy Ghana, American Corner Agbogba, in partnership with Mobile Web Ghana. Then American Spaces provides current and reliable information to the United States through book collections, internet access, events, and activities for everyone. Normally we'd be meeting face to face, but due to the global pandemic, our spaces are being closed temporarily. Today we'll be discussing ABCDs of coding, and then our facilitator is Ernestina Appiah. This is an introductory virtual program which is designed to demonstrate the fundamentals of coding and its application. So Ernestina is the founder of Ghana Code Club, which has been in existence since 2015. And over this period, they've trained over 50,000 kids and then have 500 teachers across Ghana. They have over 200 mentors and who have volunteered in their coding program. And Ernestina believes that computer programming and other technical skills are tools of empowerment. This is the reason why she has formed a team with a mission to ensure that every child and youth, particularly girls, have access to the skills they need to thrive in an increasingly digital world. Ernestina envisions a prosperous Ghana in which the next generation has the knowledge and confidence to harness the power of technology to achieve economic and personal fulfillment. Ghana Code Club has gradually become champions for coding education in Ghana, driving results through program design and delivery, research, and then advocacy. During this session, please type all your comments in the question box and then help me welcome Ernestina.
Thank you so much, Joshua. Thank you for that awesome introduction. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for logging in. Ghana Code Club and the whole team, the entire team, are very happy to be partners to the U.S. Embassy's American Corner and Mobile Web Ghana, who are working to project STEM activities here in Ghana. I'm so excited to be part, really, because at the Ghana Code Club, we believe that technical skills and digital skills are tools for empowerment. That is why we are on a mission to make sure that every child has the opportunity to learn to code. Today, we are going to learn about the ABCs of coding. What coding is, what can you make with code, and why you should learn to code. So at the end of the day, we'll be using Scratch. Scratch was created at the MIT lab, and it was created for children, actually. So people who have signed on now, you can either decide to start teaching children how to use that interface to code. And the girls who are on can even start code clubs from your vicinities. Yeah. Okay, so by the end of today, you should be able to learn what computer programming is, define and write your own algorithms, understand at least 3 concepts in computer programming, and use those concepts to make a simple program. All right, like Joshua said, I'm Ernestina Appiah, the founder of Ghana Code Club. Ghana Code Club exists to empower children to learn to code. The languages we use mostly are HTML, CSS, Python, and Scratch. We always start with Scratch because that is our main goal, to reach children. We train teachers as well. Okay, so anyone who is interested can come to the Agbogba, the corner.
American Corner Agbogba.
Yeah. Agbogba. All right, as you can see, that's me on the screen. I'm here because I want to let you know that coding has changed my life. That's why I'm so passionate in forming the team to teach people at least the fundamentals. All right. We also know that coding has now become a language, just like reading and writing in the past. People used to queue to have their letters written for them or have their letters read for them. And they queue to pay scholars or other people who literate, what's the name? The elites or something, yeah. In today's world, coding is becoming like a language for technology. People who have no idea will have to pay programmers to be able to bring out the ideas to life. And so it will always be okay for you, better for you to learn the fundamentals, so that in case you want to start some small business, you will decide to maybe establish your own website using code. So what is coding? We've been talking all this while about coding. What is coding? Coding or computer programming is a process of providing instructions to the computer so that it performs a specific task. At the end of today, we are going to use the Scratch interface to at least learn how to write simple programs. Everybody will explore and know what we are actually talking about. So we have two types of coding languages, coding or computer programming languages. We have the visual block and the text-based programming languages. The visual ones are the ones that have been designed to excite children, to learn the concepts of computer programming. The concepts are used across. Some of the coding languages we know are like Scratch. Scratch is a visual block language. We also have Alice and other ones. Then we have the text-based programming languages that are like Java, C#, C++, Ruby, etc. At the end of today's program, I want you to, those who don't have any idea at all, after learning a little about Scratch, you can go back to learn the text-based programming languages. The programming languages are just like the normal language we speak in real life. When you go to different places, there are different types of dialects that we understand to communicate with. So coding also has its own language that it understands to perform a task. So the next thing is we now know what coding is and the type of languages people use to communicate to the computer. Now, why should you learn to code? Why is it important to learn to code? Learning to code is important because we rely on code in the technologies we use every day. Our mobile phones, elevators, everything will exist without code. This means that the future belongs to people who possess some kind of coding or digital skills to keep innovating and creating the technologies we love to us. Coding is also fun and interactive. It solves a lot of problems. If you learn to code, you can create an app that solves everyday problems. Apps like Uber, you and I will agree that it's solving a lot of problems for us. You can just be in your room at the middle of the night, you call a taxi and it comes to pick you because it has your address already, right? So coding solves problems. It's fun to create, especially using the visual ones. When you use the visual software to learn, it's very, very exciting. Coding enables us to think. Like Steve Jobs said, everybody should learn to code because it helps you to think. It's very true. When you learn to code, you become creative. You can sit and think of what do you want to use to make money or solve a particular problem, and you are out there. It creates confidence in you because it's not everybody that may end up being what maybe they aspire to be in future. But when you learn to code, you possess digital skills that gives you confidence for the future. you become an entrepreneur and maybe employ other people to pay. That is, you also establish career for yourself, just like I said. In addition, when you learn to code, you are building critical life skills, like creativity, innovation. And we all know that people who innovate are the real people we should be looking up to. When you learn to code, there's a possibility that you can innovate and something, a program, okay? So the C aspect, what can I make with code? We'll soon go practical. We'll soon try to make some few things using Scratch. And most of the time when we are training, we teach people to be able to also go and teach other kids. So I'm hoping to get feedback later that when we start getting practical, maybe you call a child around to also try their hands on. What you can make with code, all the other languages can make games, animations, interactive stories, music, art, you build websites. Now, I want us to also know that there are languages that are meant for the web and languages that are meant to program something. The web languages can be HTML, CSS, JavaScript, etc. And the ones we use to make other programs, maybe interactive programs, can also be JavaScript, Scratch, and other ones. So what I'm trying to say is go and read about the difference between computer programming languages and web languages. For today, we are using a programming language to explore, maybe make some interactive stories, animations. So at this point, I want you to open the Scratch interface so that we can create a simple animation like this. You can choose a setup like this and 2 characters like this. Okay, you can choose any character you want. Let's go and open Scratch at this moment.
Yes, so whilst Auntie Tina is opening Scratch and then we are opening our Scratch, I'd like to introduce you to some resources we have, which is called the ELibrary USA. The ELibrary USA is an online resource that you may find very helpful. It's a state-of-the-art digital library with 9 premier electronic databases. That includes digital newspapers, magazines, journals, videos, and dissertations. Usually, these resources are available to use in person at American spaces. We have one space in the US Embassy, and then the other one is located at Mobile Web Ghana, North Legon. But because of the global pandemic resulting in the closing of our spaces, we are opening up access to these resources. So if you're interested, we're going to put a link in the chat box. A link to the chat box. You just register, and then you'll be given access, a code to access the resources. You can have access to magazines, National Geographic magazines, Forbes magazines, JSTOR. We have Canopy. We have so many resources which have been paid for, and then you can use freely. If you want to improve your digital skills, communications, we have resources on those ones too. So the link will be made available, and then you can just click on it to register. Yes, and we'll get back to you. Yes, so
I'm trying to share the Scratch and.
So I think, can you minimize? Is it already open?
Yeah, let me minimize this first.
Okay. Yes. So the link is in the chat now. Register to have access to it. So has amazing digital content which we can use.
I hope everyone else has opened their Scratch.
Yeah.
Joshua, can you let?
Yes, I can. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So before we even learn about the Scratch interface, I want us to learn about one concept in computer science: algorithm. Everyone should write it down, algorithm, because the kids we teach, all of them knows that they use algorithm to create or design something. So what is an algorithm? Algorithm is a set of instructions that we use to complete a task. A set of instructions that are followed by the computer to complete a task. So right now, we are all going to define our own algorithm, write some kind of algorithm down. Give example, maybe I want to brush my teeth. Someone will have to write to me a set of instructions that I can follow, details to arrive by getting my teeth clean, okay? That algorithm concept runs among every program. Before a programmer programs something, they have a set of instructions they want to use to achieve that task to be completed. So please put that behind you, because we are going to create algorithms to get a character either moving or gliding or spinning or maybe even dancing, okay? Today, like Joshua said, we are just going to explore with the Scratch code blocks. Thank you. All right, so we all have the Scratch open, right? Scratch, like we said, was created by the MIT, and it has these visual blocks and nice characters to excite children to learn to code. It's so easy for children to learn the computer concepts, the programming concept from here. And that's why we recommend it. It's free to use. So any child anywhere, you can download it and teach any child anywhere how to create, because children love technologies. They love using games and all that. They should understand how it came about. All right. So when you open Scratch, you will see this block palette here. We are going to explore all of them. The first one, the blue one, is motion. Motion has to do with maybe giving instruction to the character to move or change position or those kind of things. We'll try it. The second one are the loops blocks. Normally we create the animations, how the sprites, a sprite is a character. All right, so in Scratch, characters are known as sprites. So when I'm saying sprites, you should just know that as a sprite is a character, just like in the movie setup. When we talk about characters or background or setups, Scratch calls setup backgrounds. So just put that in mind. It's so easy to create, but later when you are getting higher and higher, you realize that this thing is not just as easy as we thought it is. Okay. Now the sound, you can always create music with Scratch. You can use this to even learn your computer, your piano notes, or can write anything with music with it. The event causes actions to happen. Normally when we are programming, we apply the event buttons first, because that's what the user will maybe hit to know what the program is about. Then the control blocks. Those control blocks help us learn concepts like loops. When you apply a forever loop, for instance, it makes a program keep repeating over and over again. And we are talking about sensing. If touching an object, something should happen. It helps us learn a concept like statement. If touching, whatever should happen. Then operators are like math. It helps us do some math, add mathematics to our program. Then variables, they are data that keeps some kind of information, but it changes. Then you can also make your own blocks whenever you want to learn. So when you go home, just go and explore to learn about how all these work. All right. So when we come to this part here, the white part first is where the scripts are arranged. Example, I want to give an instruction to this default cat to move. So I'm going to instruct you, creating an algorithm here. All right. You see what will happen on the screen here. When I click on move 10 steps, you saw that the cat has moved. So right now you are in control. You are controlling this robot to do whatever you want it to do. So you are going to create a set of algorithm or some sequence to help it do whatever you want it to do. If you want it to jump, whatever you want it to jump. Okay. Now let's explore more of the motion blocks. In case I want this to spin, the cat to spin, I'm going to maybe ask it to turn, and forever I'll apply one concept that loops to it. Turn, yeah, turn forever. Turn 15 degrees forever. When you click on it, let's see what is happening. You have given it an instruction to do exactly what you want it to do. So it's turning forever. Then when you want to test the program here, you click on the green flag. It's part of the event blocks. Event causes actions to happen. You click on either of the event blocks to define what you want to do. And when you want to stop the program, you click on the red button. Okay, now let's explore some more. Let's ask it to go back to motion as it's the movement. Let's ask it to maybe glide. Glide. Let's see what happens when we say it should glide. We ask it to glide at random positions. You always be reading your instructions here. So in a simple term, these are the coding instructions you are going to be giving to your Sprites to perform whatever task you want it to perform. Okay, good. Let's stop it. Put this back. Now we are also going to learn about here. This place is like a stage where characters perform. When you go to the theater, you see where the characters perform at. This is the stage. So all the actions happen here. And when you want to add sprites, you come down here to choose a sprite. It's called a Scratch library. When you click, you see a whole lot of characters you want to use. And there are two different ways of getting a character. You can also create your own. Create your own. When you click here, when you click there, you see that the paint application appears. Just point your mouse pointer to this and you see the paint side. Click on it and you'll be able to maybe draw a circle, whatever you want to do to create your own sprites. You can use it to create cartoons, characters, whatever you want. So when you go home, explore with the paint as well and make something. All right, we don't need all of this, so we are going to delete them. For right now, if you want to add background, example, we want to make a story, maybe two girls chatting in a room. You have to choose your sprite or create your character. Choose it from the Scratch library if you want. So I'm going to choose Enina here, and then maybe choose another one, another sprite called Abby. All right, I can see Abby right now. Okay, let's take Avery. All right, so immediately you are on your way to creating animations, getting the story out there on Facebook. People can watch it, but with Scratch, you can only record a video and publish. You can't publish it directly to Facebook, just like other programs. You can only record a video once it's going. And then here, this is where we choose our settings from or our backdrops. If you are creating a story, you should have in mind that you should have the characters, those who perform, and the setup where the action will take place at. Now, maybe you want to choose a bedroom or a football field. whatever, a beach, you can explore, use whichever backdrop you want to use. In this case, I like the pink bedroom 2. So I want to choose the pink bedroom. Already, you could see that you're on your way to making a story, right? You'll see 2 girls here. They can try to communicate with each other. Now, when you add code to each of the characters, they are going to perform the task you want them to perform. Example, let's say Enina wants to dance. Right now, let's add code. Let's animate this character to dance. In Scratch, when you click on costume, the costume tab right here, I want Enina. So when you click on the costume tab, you will see that the sprite has different positions. Okay, once I'm clicking on them, you could see that the actions are happening, right? We've not even added code to it. Why don't we add instructions, a set of instructions for her to keep dancing all over, okay? Before then, maybe we want to add music to the stage. Okay, you always click back on code on the tab when you want to code. Let's add music first. Let's learn to add music to the stage. Now you see the stage here in Scratch 3. Click on stage. We want to add music to it. So before the program starts, there is already some song playing at the background. All right, now we click on stage. We are going to add code to the stage for it to give us some sound.
Yeah.
So we click on the sound tab. You can choose whatever sound down here where the volume is, or record your own voice. These 2 characters can be talking just like in animation stories. You can record voices for them. For now, we are not going to record voice, but we'll add the music that will be playing at the background. Okay, so let's add the music that will be, let's say, dance funk. Okay, then you go back to code. After you click on dance, you go back to code it. Let's add the music to the background. Over here, I told you always play with the action button first. That's the event buttons. They cause the action to happen. So we are instructing it that when the green flag is clicked, this green flag is clicked by anybody. I want you to start playing this music. So you have the control now to program. Okay, can you hear the music? I hope so. All right. Now, when we want the music to play over and over, that brings us to the first concept we are learning called loops. Everyone should learn loops. We first of all learned about what an algorithm is, a set of instructions given to the computer to perform a task. Now, we want to learn about loops. What do they do? It's so boring that you keep coding, writing the same script over and over again. But there is a way that you can make it repeat, by adding just one code or a few lines of code. So when you come to control and choose maybe the forever loop, wrap it around this block and check what happens when anybody at any part of the world wants to access your program. Please, when he clicks on the green button, the music starts. So see, music is at the background and it may be played over and over again. So at this point, we want to stop it and go to code the other characters. Let's see Enina. We want Enina to be changing her dance moves, just as we saw it in the costume. When you click on the costume, you see that Enina is changing. So let's code her to actually do that. To do that, we'll use the looks button a lot. Also, remember that to start coding, you should apply an event button. We want to tell Enina that maybe when the music starts, she'll start showing us her moves. So we selected when green flag is clicked. You can also explore with this. We can say when space bar is clicked, when anybody presses her space bar on the keyboard, Enina should start dancing. You can also decide to say when anyone clicks on that character, it should start dancing, and a whole lot. You try all of them. So at this point, I'm using when green flag is clicked. You should show me some moves. How do you show me some moves? I click on looks to animate, okay? So when I click on moves, I want Enina to switch costume to the next costume. Switch costume, the first costume, when you click on costumes, you see that the first one is Enina stance. So when the green flag is clicked, we should give instruction to Enina that starts from the first one, the first costume, which is here. All right. But later, change to the next costume, okay? And keep doing that until the music is stopped or the program is stopped. That's what we are going to do for Enina right now. We're going to add code blocks to her to keep changing moves. So when the green flag is clicked, we want her to switch to the first costume, which is the stance. So we'll tell her that when the green flag is clicked, be in this position, Enina stance. Okay, remember I showed you at the costume side, that's where you go to get your different moves. But later, maybe after 1 second, switch to, in Scratch, all these code blocks, you can change some of the numbers or whatever you want to do according to you, your wish, you can change it. This one, say the default is 1 second, but I want her to change her styles after every 0.2 seconds. Okay, she should change her dance move. So I'll keep moving it like that. After you change to this costume, wait again for another 0.2 seconds and change to the third costume. Costumes are always found under the looks pattern. Switch to this. You click, when you click in the arrow buttons here, it gives you all Enina's animation costumes. So you decide to choose whichever you want at what point. There are two ways of doing this. Another way, the easiest way, is to ask her to change to next costume instead of going to, you may not know which costume is the next, so you don't want to use this one. It's a long process. You say when the green flag is clicked, just start with, Joshua, you can prompt me when the time is almost up.
Yeah. You can finish with this demonstration.
All right, so when the green flag is clicked, switch to Enina stance because you are controlling it. I want you to be on that position. But after 2 seconds, switch to the next costume. Then wait again after 2 seconds, switch to another next costume. That one is better, you know, and faster. So we'll keep adding the control blocks and the looks blocks. Okay, let's leave it at here and test our code to see what is happening to Enina here. When we click the green flag, what happened? We saw that we've written a program that Enina should change her positions. Right now, she just changed it 1 round and stopped. So who can tell me how we can control Enina to keep doing that over and over again? Someone should type it in the chat box.
Yes, kind of in the chat box, how we think we can make, is it Nina?
Yeah.
Nina's, yes, repeat dance moves.
When you go home, try.
Yes.
Okay. We have someone type forever. Good. So that is it. We are adding a forever block or repeat, whichever you decide to use, a repeat block to wrap around. Remember hold on, yeah. The first 2 seconds should also be in the loop. Okay. Yeah. All right. You realize that we left the first costume out because that one is instructing her that when the program starts, be in that position. So let's test it again and see how it's going. All right. Okay. Now Enina is showing us all her dance moves. So let's try to add some kind of algorithm to this lady also to do something. Maybe she should say, wow, Enina, you can really dance, okay? You could either record your voice to this or add a block that she will actually say, wow, you know how to dance. Let's do that. So we click on Avery. So that Avery will say, when the green flag is clicked, she will wait for some few seconds because you know that Enina is already engaged, okay? So when green flag is clicked, we are coming to events block again. When green flag is clicked, Avery should wait. She should hold on for maybe 6 seconds, or maybe 7 seconds and say, wow, you can really dance. And to program her to speak, you again come to looks. Then drag out the say block that say, wow, Enina, you can really dance. Wow. So you see how the story is going. Children love to create, especially girls. Give them the opportunity to bring out their own ideas, what they imagine, how they want the story to be. They should just select their characters, add code to them, give instructions to each character to perform as they wanted to perform. And bear in mind, all the concepts we are learning here apply to all other, even text-based programming languages. Wow, Enina, you can really dance. All right, so my keyboard sometimes types to the end twice, so don't mind it. All right, she should say that. Okay, so let's see what is happening. Let's test, run the code again. So after 7 seconds. Okay, all right. So we had our characters doing exactly as we wanted them to do. This is just an introduction. I want each of you to maybe go home and add more code blocks to any character you want and create a story for us to share next week. Next week, we are going to create games. Actually, we can use even those 2 characters, start a story like this and make a game out of it. We will try to make a simple game next week with maybe create a maze game or something. Then we go a bit deeper. Today we learned about loops and getting an algorithm or a sequence of instructions together. Sequence means the order in which our code blocks were put here, okay? And we also learned what coding is, why you should learn to code, and what you can make with code. It's fun. You can either use the visual blocks to keep having fun, creating fun items, or the text-based ones to create websites or whatever you want to create. When you come to the American corner, we'll teach you how to create websites. We have resources, how to make other programs, interesting ones, of course. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Tina, for your wonderful presentation. Yes, learned about algorithms and sequences and loops, and then we even created or animated a story of 2 ladies dancing. So at this point, we'll take your questions or your feedback if you have any. Yeah, so please, if you want to ask a question, kindly, you can turn on your video, but you raise your hand and then I'll call you. Then when Madam Tina answers your question, then we can take that other question. So it's a bit controlled. So if you want to ask a question, you can either type it in the chat box, I'll read it out, or you raise your hand and then I'll call you. You turn on your mic and then ask your question. Yes, so I think before we take our first question, earlier on someone asked that they couldn't download the Scratch on their device. Yes, Scratch on their device. So Scratch, to answer that question, Scratch has a web app, so you don't need a physical laptop. Like you don't need to have it on your device. You can actually use it on the web, like how you browse Facebook. You have the environment where you can use everything over there. So yeah, that is just for that. Do you have any questions? Yes. So, Madam Tina, can we use this this Scratch to build a mobile app?
Yes, actually, you can use it. You create from the tablet. You can upload it to Play Store though, or the Apple Store. You can upload it, but it will be on your device. Meanwhile, there is a way to connect. When you sign in with Scratch, you are connected to the whole of the world, the Scratch community. So anybody that is also on, so far as you've shared your program, they can always access your program. Yeah.
Okay. We have a question from Comfort. She's asking, what's the cost of learning coding and web design at the American Corner? Yes, to answer your question, there's no cost for learning coding and web design at the American Corner. What we do is we have virtual programs like this, which you have for free. We have resources which you can also get access to. And then we try to organize virtual programs like this where we connect you to resource persons and then you have access to these resources for free. So I don't know if you're part of the session earlier on. We have resources in the eLibrary, which has some information on how to start your digital career. So you can also sign up to that link and then get access to those resources. So to answer your question, it comes at no cost, but through programs like this, we try to make facilitators like Ghana Code Club, and then for them to be available so that you can learn for free. So do you have any other question? Yes, so AtanaSoft is asking, how often do you organize programs like this? Yes, so in fact, every week we have, I think, a minimum of 3 virtual programs, but they're on different topics. So kindly follow the US Embassy Ghana Facebook page. We have series of virtual programs. This is on coding, but we have others on English language. We had one yesterday on racism. So we have so many virtual programs. You can just stay tuned to the US Embassy Facebook page or the Twitter channel, and then you have access to those information. We normally, what we do is, after we pray that when the pandemic is over and then we're able to open our spaces, we can be able to meet in person and then have more interactions with this on these topics. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. Do you have any more questions? Yes, earlier on, I got a message that some of you couldn't hear the audio. I hope you were able to resolve that issue. If you have, kindly raise your hand so I'll know those issues were resolved. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so yes, another question we have. It looks like, during the session, you were referring to kids and then the interface looks like things for kids. How can, I don't know, adults, like, we want the stuff. Can we still use Scratch?
Yes. This is just the basics, actually, for you to know about the interface. And it's like this because it was targeted towards children. When kids want to learn programming or the languages and they see syntaxes, they tend to run away, especially girls. We are not interested when we see syntaxes. So that is why they use the visuals. But it doesn't mean it's only for children, people use Scratch to make their own Pac-Man game, call it Angry Birds. Every game, you can use this to create it. You can also use Scratch to create animations for children to learn. And creating that, you are going to add more mathematics, symbols, and stuff. It's not that easy to learn. So anybody at all can use Scratch to program. You can use Scratch to program a calculator. And there are so many resources on the Scratch page. You know, the scratch.mit.edu. When you go there, you see people have a whole lot of programs they have. And it's not easy. It helps you to think. So adults can also use it.
Okay, thank you. Yes, so Comfort is asking, please remember to share the link for the e-library. Yes, so we'll share it again, but you can still go back to the earlier chats. There's a link over there which you can click on and then sign up to the e-library. We have a question from Mark Asante Kumi. He's asking, are we going to have a look at the rest, like variables, my blocks, during the session, next session?
Next session, we'll try to tackle how to add variables to make a simple game. Next session.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And then Atanasoft, I hope I'm mentioning your name right, Atanasoft. He says, is there a link to download tutorials for practice?
Yes, we at the Ghana Code Club, we have a lot of tutorials. We'll share with the American Corner, and they will give it to you as resources.
Okay. You're about to say something?
No, it's okay.
Okay. So yes, so those of you asked for the link to the e-library resource, it's in the chat. You can just look in the chat box and then you click on it and then you register. Also, this recording will be made available on our YouTube channel at the US Embassy Ghana's official YouTube channel. So just keep monitoring the social media pages. When it is out, you have access to it. So they are all in there. Inusa has a question. Inusa, can we hear you, please? Inusa, I see your hand up. Can you unmute your mic and then, okay. Okay, yes, so Hussein is asking, can we get a recording of this program? It may help us with the practice later on. Yes, as I mentioned earlier on, this recording will be made available on the official US Embassy Ghana's YouTube channel, which you can go on later on to watch. We also have videos of some of our past virtual programs, and then the amazing ways you can learn about various digital skills and then about our global world. Yes, so that is it. Hussein, Inusa, your hand is still up. Can you?
Yeah, I said that.
Okay,
I think my audio problem was resolved, and I enjoyed the lesson.
Okay. Thank you very much, Inusa, for that feedback. Yes, so we are taking more questions on the session. Yes, and then yes, Madam Tina, I think earlier on you mentioned the part about the algorithm. Normally we hear about people saying the Facebook algorithm is so good that when you input your school, it can get you this thing. Or sometimes when you go to Google and then you search for a particular product, realize that wherever you browse other web pages, they are chasing you or putting those informations in your face. Can you touch on algorithm and then how it works in these platforms?
Yeah, so algorithm is simple everywhere. It's a set of instructions the programmer used to get that program running. Okay. So that is, in a simple term, that's what it means. So I create my own instructions, used a particular language. Okay. It could be Python, Ruby, and then I instructed it in a way that it should perform this particular task. So that is it. When you hear algorithm, it's just the set of instructions that was used to publish whatever program.
Okay. And then, so on the Scratch Studio, how long would it take someone to, master the programming concepts using Scratch Studio? In your experience.
So when I started, you know how I started? When I started, I was actually looking for to learn the fundamentals of computer programming, to create something. I was involved in a program, then all of a sudden they shut it down. And it pained me so much. I said, if I were to have an idea about how they put this program together, I could be that programmer helping people out there to make money. So I went to research about how to code. I mean, computer programming using the programming languages, fundamentals. And I came across Scratch. Then I saw that some kids from the UK were using it to create rockets, games, and all that. It was so interesting. And then I got addicted. I wanted to learn what Scratch was about. Went on the website and got glued to it because I love to teach kids. It also dawned on me that why don't I make this program very, very viral here in Ghana. That was how come I started. So it depends on you and the passion you have. After Scratch, I tried to learn Python and all that and realized that the concepts are almost the same. So it depends on you. You can use maybe 1 day to master or 1 week. It depends on the passion you have out there.
Okay. So bottom line is it depends on your passion. It depends on how much time and effort you're willing to put into learning coding or maybe starting with Scratch. Mohammed Yusuf Baba is asking, do we have a WhatsApp platform for we, the learners? Yes, currently there's no WhatsApp platform for the ABCs of coding. Yes, but if all communications are handled on the US Embassy Ghana page, if you have any special requests, you can just respond to the email through which you got the invitation, and then we'll address them. And then if there's a need to create a WhatsApp group for a group like this, we'll communicate to you duly, and then you can join. So yes, so basically that answers it. And then also in the chat box, we have the link to the YouTube channel. You can just click on it, and then the recordings will be made available on there for you to watch. Yes. So
sorry, yes. I think it's important you create some kind of WhatsApp group because I'd like to train more people because I'm interested in going to teach other children. Then they will bring us feedback. So the feedback is to all of us our advantage. Yeah.
So we want to make them disciples to go out and then teach.
Yeah, yes. Because it's so exciting when children have access to this. They stay so glued. Even when it's break time, they don't want to leave because they've unleashed some kind of hidden talent within them, to create. And most of them are coming out with nice programs because they are also curious to study the other languages to solve problems. So it's important.
Okay. Thank you very much, Madam Tina. I think we'll discuss and then communicate in due time when those things are put in place. Yeah, so in your view, after one has mastered Scratch, depending on how passionate a person is, what should be the next step?
Well, if you want to build a website like this, I'll say you should start with HTML and CSS. It depends on what you want to make. Okay. And there are so many free resources out there for you to start exploring with. Codeacademy.com like this helps you to learn every programming language, and it's free. So if you want to learn websites, you use HTML, CSS, you see that you are getting the interest is building up. Then you can add maybe JavaScript and jQuery to make your website interactive. So it depends on you. I can't say go and learn Python. Maybe you might not like it. You will not be too comfortable with it. So yeah.
Okay, so Livingston said earlier on that he's a web developer. I'm sure he's familiar with some of the concepts and then the languages our facilitator is referring to on here. So we'll be wrapping up in a few minutes. And just a quick reminder, we'll have a part 2 of this session. So between now and next week, we can download the Scratch if we haven't. And if you can't install it on your laptop, there's a web version. You just need a stable internet connection to be able to use it. Just play around the Scratch interface, set up blocks, set up loops, create your own sequence, explore your algorithms and things like that, so that when we come next week, we'll have like move faster. Yes, so we have Livingston saying, I miss much, but it's not something difficult. Yes, so yes, it's a simple tool to explore the coding principles. Do you have any final question? Okay, so Madam Tina, what are your final words? What do you have for those of us who joined this session?
Well, like I said, go to scra.mit.edu, click on create, try your hands on other programs, see other people's works, and challenge yourself to say, okay, I'm going to create this. Then we all share it together next week, and it goes out from there. And make sure you get a child to introduce the concept to, and you will be happy. You will never regret it.
Okay. So, I mean, no one predicted the coronavirus, but we are in Corona season, and then we're all moving virtual. And then those with a lot of digital skills are able to break it even. So we all have to find a way of learning some of these digital skills, coding, and then how to use these skills in our daily lives. And then coding also doesn't teach you how to build apps. It teaches you how to think, critical thinking, as Madam Tina explained earlier on. Before you write a sequence or an algorithm, you should have thought of the possible scenarios and situations and possible outcomes, and then you write a code to address that. Yes, so we have a final question from Livingston. He said, what PC is required for this project? Madam Tina, can you say something quick on that? Is
Yes,
what is it?
Windows 10 and anything above. Yeah.
Okay.
And tablets
so
too. You can use tablets for
okay.
it.
Okay. So it's a very light software. It can be installed on like your tablet or your PC. Comfort says, thanks so much for this. It's interesting, and I look forward to learning a lot from your consequence sessions. Yes. So Livingston is asking about the RAM. I mean, the 2 gig RAM should be enough.
I don't know about all those ones. All I know is Windows 10 and above, or MacBook, whatever.
Yes. So Livingston, I think your specifications should be able to run the device smoothly. Yes, it's been designed in such a way that a lot of people can have access to it. So you don't need a high performing machine. I think a 1 gig RAM running on Windows. I think Windows 7 upwards should be able to run it. If your device does not meet those requirements, there's always the web app, as I mentioned earlier on. You can use it online, and then it would also work. Yes. So before ending this program, I'd like to tell you about an online resource, as I mentioned earlier on. It's called the ELibrary USA. It's the state-of-the-art digital library with 9 premier electronic databases. That includes digital newspapers, magazines, journals, videos, and dissertations. Usually, this resource is only available to use in person at American spaces. We have one in the US Embassy, Ghana, and then the other one is at North Legon, Mobile Web Ghana, Agboba. Yes, but with the global pandemic resulting in the closing down of our American spaces, we are opening up access to these amazing resources. So if you're interested, just click on the link, registration link, and then in the comment section, and then you request for an access, and then it will be given to you. Yes, so that concludes our program for today. Please follow us on Facebook at US Embassy Ghana for amazing virtual programming. Yes, thank you all for joining today. Please stay safe. Observe all safety protocols, that is washing of hands and running water with soap for at least 20 seconds. Practice social distancing and wear a mask in public. Yes, so we'll meet same time next week. It's bye from us. Bye.